So I've been poking around trying to figure out basically where the power is stopping. And I'm highly confident at this point. Well, I'm reasonably confident that it's either this is the, I believe, Outguard power supply. It's, you know, there's your inputs right there. And this takes your line voltage and feeds various different AC voltages into the transformer, which the transformer takes and then outputs into the in-guard power supply. I believe I have that right. Sorry, I've been looking at a bunch of stuff. So we have, lines do have continuity into the board. But then we don't get any voltage out here. It appears like nothing even... You know what? I don't remember for absolutely certain. I think I probed those for voltage. But now I'm questioning, did I? It's been a few hours. All right. Nah, screw it. Leave it. I'm going to pull this board and I'm going to basically just trace the path of power. I'm wondering if, like, maybe the safety capacitors failed and, failed open like they're designed to. That would be something simple. But it's... The problem being in the power supply or the transformer, this is good. Those are not horrendously expensive. And it's not like the, voltage reference or having a multi-slope convergence rundown failure kind of thing. So yeah, I'm going to pull this and I'm going to start tracing basically the path of power and see if I have, is the switch even seeing mains voltage, that kind of thing. All right. So I've been reviewing some of XDev's repairs on 3458As, and since I've been focusing on the power board, I noticed that this line pushes against this, and he showed that there was an example of a mechanical failure on an inductor where the pin wasn't making good contact. And he just wiggled it, and the display came on. So I'm going to give that a shot, because why not? I also did notice during partial disassembly to try to get the Outguard power board out that, yeah, this was pressing really tightly against that inductor. Make sure of our power position. Yeah, selector is on 120. Yeah. It lives. It lives. Okay, we have error 202, hardware failure. Slave test DC board. That's it. It's just the DC board. Okay. So what happens if I just try to take a real basic set of measurements? Alright, so we're on DC volts. We get no readings on DC volts. What about AC volts? Ohms? Current? Okay. Well, we went from a no power, no response of any kind 3458A to one that turns on. That's definitely a progress. So, let's give it a full self-test. Let's see. Self-test failed. Yep. I'm wondering if I failed to plug something back in. Might have. Yes. Yes. I had that unplugged because I pulled the InGuard power board. I think I'm referring to those correct. I think this is Outguard and that's InGuard. Let's try it again. You know what? I'm just going to install the... I'm just going to put the power switch back in. Instead of doing what I'm doing. Now that I know... Well... No, I am going to have to fix that solder joint. I can't leave it like that permanently, so I'll leave it like that. Oh, and as a reference, pulling that power board, the Outguard, absolute pain in the ass. I haven't been able to do it thus far. It looks like there's just like 2 screws on the board, and then there's 2 screws connecting that little heatsink bridge. And then it's just slide on like locking tabs, and it is just jammed in place. And of course, I don't want to push hard on anything and break anything. No error? I'll be right back. A university threw it in the trash. A university threw it in the trash. Yeah. Holy crap. Loose inductor on the power board. Power failure is better than any failure you could possibly have, because you're not, DC volts. I'm on DC. .9999910. AC volts. It's expected that this would be less accurate. This has good accuracy on DC volts, but AC is naturally going to be less accurate. Ohms. $100K. 99.99999K, yeah. 100 ohm. Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. fuck yeah. $34.58 with options 1 and 2, so extended memory, and the high precision 4 ppm per year reference. Intermittently failed solder join on an inductor, and a university threw it in the trash. Oh yeah. Damn, that feels good. It even has, like, the Rams due sticker is only due for 3 years ago. It hasn't lost its calibration constants. Wow. Oh yeah, let's check current. Switch to DC. Yep. Yep. Welcome to the family, brother. This is basically early Christmas. Wow. Just wow. Oh. Yeah, I'm just basking in that glory right now. Oh, look at that. Look at all that beauty. Thank you, XDevs.
So there is a mechanical broken pin on that inductor, and that's easy to fix.
Thank you, XDevs. Sincerely. Thank you. Hey, buddy. A university threw it in the trash. Wow. Okay, so we have the meter operational, and that is absolutely awesome. But there are more things to do. Some are medium term necessary. They don't need to be done right away, but they should be done. Some are more important, some are less important. Some are just normal updated maintenance for the care and feeding of 3458As, and I'm going to go over them. Other people have done this before. The information is already out there, but I have this in front of me. I figured, let's add this a little bit. First up are, well, here. Sorry for the noisy. First up are these 3 Dallas NV RAM chips. They are battery-backed memory. They have batteries inside of them. If you know about 3458A, I'm not telling you anything new. So the batteries last they're rated for 10 to 15 years depending on which model there is. And yeah, they're sealed and potted units, so you can't really replace the battery. Now, the earliest hobbyist method of dealing with this was, I believe, Dremel surgery. where we'd I forget which side it is. We'd gradually shave into one side until we access the battery terminals. And once you access the battery terminals, you're fine. Then solder on a couple of wires, glue a little battery hat on top of it for a 3-volt coin cell, and just pop in a coin cell. And then if it ran out, you could access it and you can replace the battery. That was like the oldest, crudest method. You can kind of sort of still get these, but they haven't been manufactured in a while. So yeah, how much lifetime you'll get out of those is highly questionable. There are multiple people out there that have made alternatives. There is an intermediate method where you just solder a socket on there, and there are FRAM modules. I believe it's ferromagnetic memory that does not require a battery to maintain RAM. And that's great because it's a set it and forget it. Once you have that in there, you don't have to worry about the battery running out because it doesn't need it. The dual inline pin socket of this nature of FRAM is out of manufacture, end of life, not made anymore. But there is a surface mount version, much smaller, that is basically the same chip, and you can get that. And Near Far Media is one of the individuals that has made like an adapter board for that. I think there are others that have done similar projects. I think a YouTube channel called Necroware has done the same, although not specifically for the 3458A, but it was for Dallas chips. But yeah, there's people out there who have made little adapter daughter boards to take modern surface mount chips that are the same kind of memory modules that these are, with some adapters for the ones that have smaller memory. That version of the smaller memory isn't available anymore, so you had to I think Near Far Media was the one who developed this portion where you'd short out the pins for the higher memory addresses so that it would function in the 3458A as the smaller memory size. But that is a to-do on this. Next up is very low priority. This dust filter is an outdated version, and they've replaced it with a 3-part, basically a fan grill and porous carbon filter media, I believe. So that is an option that you can do. I don't know. It's a maybe. I'm fine with this fan filter. You just have to clean it. I just have to remember to clean it. What else? Let's turn around to the other side. So this part is specific for me. This is my inductor that has the bad mechanical connection, so I need to pull this board and, fix this connection, resolder it. Other than that, the Schaffner mains filter. This is an older version. It is EOL'd, and that needs to be replaced because this is the kind that contains Rifa capacitors, and they have a tendency to explode and blast tar everywhere, because that's the potting material in these, is tar. So what they get replaced with I actually already bought them because it's on my to-do list for my other 3458A. So the existing Schaffner part number is FN, that's Foxtrot November 323-3/05. That's been end of life. And this is the recommended replacement. FN, or Foxtrot November 9222-3-06. Also by Schaffner. That's the mains input filter, the current generation that doesn't blow up. Slightly important thing to not have it blow up. Thank you, DigiKey. All right, next up. If you look right here, depending on what year you have, which this will be most of the older ones, and the ones we hobbyists have tend to be the older ones, there are a couple reefa capacitors right there. Y2 rated safety caps. And the reefa caps are replaced on site because same reason as the Schaffner filters. These are epoxy encased. Over the years and decades, the epoxy gradually fails as it gets exposed to heat and cold cycles, and more damagingly, humidity cycling. It forms cracks in the epoxy. It lets humidity gradually infiltrate into the capacitor film, shorting the capacitor and blowing it up. And then you have this horrific smell of burned decade-old epoxy that I'm told smells unimaginably bad. So reefa capacitors are always a replace on site. They're cheap. They're very, very cheap and available. What else do we have for the 3458A? That might be it. At least that comes to mind. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it, or at least it's everything I'm thinking of right now. Yeah, I thought I'd just share that with you. Let you know about some of the common issues. Thanks. Have a good day. Scratch that. There is another thing. This is from XDevs, who is basically the authority, besides maybe Keysight technicians, on repairing these units. It's his opinion that, irrelevant of the quality or year of manufacture, whether or not they were manufactured during the capacitor plague era or not, that all of the electrolytics are just replaced with new on site, with high quality, as highly longevity rated as possible, 105 degrees C caps. And he has pictures on his site of the underside, when he decided to do that, of some of the electrolytic already having come out and it being invisible until he desoldered them from the board. So that's his recommendation. He is vastly more knowledgeable than me about these meters, so I wanted to pass that along. I don't know if I'm personally going to be doing it. I may, but yeah, I wanted to give that a mention. Okay.